crash out. This has got to be Mario. I made a video on this guy the other day. Once again, I'd like to say, I don't think this guy's dumb at all. I just think he was misrepresenting what I was saying. And now bro's apparently crashing the f out. So I'm going to hear him out and let's see what he has to say. My whole issue with his whole hypocrisy video was that, yeah, he just had no idea what the f he was talking about. I don't think that makes him a dumb guy by any means, but let's see what he has to say.
I didn't want to make it.
And I want to be very fair about this. I'm going to speed this up a little bit because he is a little bit of a slow talker. But yeah, let's get into it.
This video, I'm going to fucking make it, okay?
Okay.
And I'm not going to make this video to try and hate on Tectone.
Okay.
I'm going to make this
I appreciate that.
video to hate on the brain dead community this guy has. That
My community's not brain dead, but that's okay.
will just blindly follow anything he says.
They don't. Whenever I fuck up, they always call me out for it. You can tell by that for the MTash video. Everybody thought I fucked up until I clarified later. Yeah, no, my community actually holds me quite accountable. Almost a little bit too much. To be honest, I would argue that I have a community that holds me too accountable for things that are completely reasonable by me. I think we would probably agree. I would actually have a pretty hard time getting my community on my side consistently because I tackle a lot of gray areas and it's very high difficulty ordeals that I do an undertaking for. But yeah, I think that's a little bit goofy. But let's keep going here.
Simply because he has a massive following and he's popular, right?
Oh, rightfully so.
This has to be the dumbest shit I've ever experienced. I'm going back in my video to see the comments people.
Once again, this dumbest shit that you've ever experienced is completely self-inflicted. Nobody encouraged you to make a video. You made a video of your own accord. Just remember that when you make a video, it is public and people will weigh in on that video, especially when you weigh in on controversy. So I can tell you're very emotional right now, but just understand, to quote Mr. Pokey, don't come into the kitchen if you can't handle the heat. All right, let's keep going here.
People left off after Tectone reacted to me.
Oh, by the way, I would also say almost every, if not every single claim I ever make about another creator, they don't take my word for it. They ask for proof. And I'm glad they ask for proof. And I provide them proof whenever I possibly can. I'm probably the guy who started the whole asking people for proof before they blindly follow them in this community. So I think you should apologize for that comment, Gabi Morrow. I think you're horrifically misrepresenting me and my community once again. And I think that you should really review the things that you're talking about before you talk about them, as well as you trying to speak on the podcast where you were horrifically misrepresenting that as well, if you want to avoid further controversy. Once again, trying to be very fair.
And they still are comparing this game to Genshin's first anniversary.
Yeah, well, Wuthering Waves' first anniversary being compared to Wuthering Waves' first anniversary makes a lot of sense, don't you think? Just like if you were to compare a game state of one game to another game, you would probably do it around the same time span, don't you think?
As a way to justify Wu was Annie being bad and saying, oh, HSR power creep, HSR this. I am going to fucking slap this 2.0 Pride Win tier list onto this screen so you guys can see with your own two fucking eyes. HSR never had a power creep or HP inflation issue until over a year into the game.
Fair point.
This Wuwa game isn't even a year old. Zani and Phoebe is 15% stronger than any other team in the game currently at their max potential, and Kartethia is in the next patch.
So I want to remind you, right, that Pridwin isn't like, let's pull it up here real quick. Pridwin. They have an odd habit of filling up every tier. And that's kind of the problem. Whereas like when Acheron came out, I believe, do they show it? So like, they don't show it here, but when Acheron came out, they were an S plus and the other characters were S. But the problem was that Acheron was so strong, she should have been in triple S tier and every other character should have been an A because the power differential was that different, right? So that's why using this as like a, look at how close these units are. There was no power creep here yet. We all know the difference between a Dan Heng Il and a Zila. We all know the difference between a Jingliu and a Zila. And I promise you it wasn't one tier, right? So I hope that helps.
HSR never had a power creep or HP inflation issue until over a year into the game.
Let's see if I can show Pridwin as well. Or let's Zenless Zone 0. See, like, we all here know that Miyabi is not 0.5 ahead of Burnus. We all know that Miyabi is like 3 tiers above Burnus. And that's why saying this is like there's no power creep issue is a little bit ignorant, right? So I hope that helps you understand that. But yeah, there's a huge difference in those tiers. And that's why saying, look at this Pridwin tier list. Look at how close they are. Well, it's just not exactly accurate. I'm sure you'd agree, Gabby.
This Wuwa game isn't even a year old. Zani and Phoebe is 15% stronger than any other team in the game currently at their max potential.
Is this true? Misinfo, graph already disproven. Techie Saint debunks that graph in the video you're going to watch. Saint shows that graph, it's fake. So it's wrong. This is an action game with quick swap mechanics. Calculation of the sheet is retarded. It doesn't work. This is Maggie graph. Okay, great. So this graph has already been disproven. Amazing.
And Cartethia is in the next patch. Okay? This happened in Genshin.
So this guy's crashing out over misinformation? Okay, great.
This happened in HSR. It's going to happen in fucking
And also, theoretical DPS just doesn't really matter in a game with quick swap, so yeah.
Wuwa. I'd be happy if I were wrong. The signs are there. Signature weapons are becoming bigger and bigger increases for DPS. Sequence jumps are becoming bigger. Weapons are becoming better. Chakona's weapon puts minus 12% arrow res on enemies. Like, that have arrow.
Yeah, I'm going to be real. Like, the damage increasing of, what are they called? Constellations and Wuthering Waves. Nobody should really be worried about how broken an S6 is. The problem is when they pay gate features around like S1ing. Then that's like a problem, right? Like quality of life exploration, right? That's when it gets really fucking icky. That's when it gets really stinky. The graphs are disingenuous rotation for characters, which is never done during the actual gameplay. Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Arrow erosion on them. Cartethia is going to be fucking busted when she releases. Okay? I am getting people who don't even watch my video, who watch it with 2 brain cells, saying some dumb shit like, oh, Tectone actually did call out the rewards. You didn't watch the podcast.
Yeah, I did multiple times. Many times.
I fucking did, and you fucking didn't. Because
Okay, let's hear his justification.
every time they called out the rewards, 2 seconds later, they start spouting some bullshit like, oh, the Annie's great though. Look at all these events. Look at all.
No, we never said the Annie's great though. We said the other content is pretty good. We all agreed the anniversary was bad. And I can tell you're upset, that I can tell that this is an emotional video and that you're misspeaking, but we all said the anniversary was shit, but the content around it was pretty good. And to be fair, if you played the content for Wuthering Waves, I thought the Zany story quest was great. Very enjoyable. I would say the event is pretty weak, but I mean, I'll be real. I've enjoyed other patches better, but it just feels like a typical woo-wah patch, to be completely honest. It doesn't necessarily feel any special, but it's not anything too egregious. Yeah, I really enjoyed the Zany story quest, but I wish we had a new zone to explore, and I wish the event was a little bit less Mickey Mouse.
All these oh, do you want Kuro to buy you a mansion to pay your mortgage? What do you expect? That's all I was hearing from these fucking mouths every time I had to hear them talk, and every time they so-called addressed the Annie rewards.
I think 57 pulls for the anniversary was pretty damn good.
There was always a bullshit but excuse right after they called out the Annie rewards to try and downplay how bad it is. I am once again going to slap on the bookkeeping pulls per patch for HSR and WUWA on the screen.
I think it's pretty fair to want people to just kind of wait until they see the disasters coming rather than doomsaying all the time. A lot of people got tired of doomsayers, and that's why I waited on quitting Honkai Star Rail until Castris was released. I think the problem is when people say you're not outraged enough. I think I've done that in the past, and I think it's kind of a harmful mentality to have. So I don't really think you should guilt content creators for just saying, well, let's just wait and see, because maybe it won't happen, right? Maybe they'll change it. And sometimes that's happened in the past where we were worried about nothing, but a lot of the times we were worried about something. So I think a waiting and seeing mentality is okay.
For the people with 2 brain cells, these games give extremely fucking
I
similar
wonder why this guy thinks 2 brain cells. What about 3 or 4?
rewards, and you should not be holding this game to the standard of the same game you love to shit on and farm for content every 2 fucking seconds. But when it happens to your own game, we try to downplay it. It's not that bad. Hoyo's worse. It doesn't matter who's fucking worse. It's about this game improving, being better for the player, being better overall, right? Because eventually,
Yeah, so this guy's saying this like we don't believe it. Everybody already has this mentality, right? We all want the game to be better for itself, right? The only reason why we were bringing up the Genshin thing is because people were trying to say that Genshin's better. And we wanted to address anybody from the Genshin AstroTurfers who were trying to overshit on this patch and farm some Ws. But everybody knows we just want WuWa to be better for WuWa. This isn't Like this is a guy once again just completely straw manning the argument and attempting to get an easy dunk on saying something that's universally true that everybody already agrees with, but acting like he's the only one vouching this standpoint or talking point, which is just very cringe. It's very manipulative. But let's keep going here.
Essentially,
I don't want to guilt this guy for his own maybe listening comprehension, but he is very emotional. So I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, but it's an accident.
if we're all being honest, and you get your head out of your fucking ass, you can
He's very angry, huh?
easily tell this game is going to die at some point. It is.
Yeah, we all already know that. Yep, we say that many times. Yep, that's what happens in every single game. Nobody's surprised. Wuthering Waves will die one day. I've said this many times. Whenever Wuthering Waves gets bad, we'll all stop playing. But he's once again saying a thing in opposition to people that agree with him. But he's once again acting like he's the only person saying that.
Is going to have the same drama as HSR and Genshin. There are already
It might.
new gacha games making better banner rates, no 50-50s, less weapon banner pity, higher chance to pull.
Yeah, this is why I say I have no allegiance to any gacha game whatsoever, right? I will play whatever the best game is, and that's it. And I've said this many times. I think this guy is very unfamiliar with my content.
The 5-star. The space is already innovating, and Wuwa is already starting to fall behind
And to be fair, Wuwa is starting to fall behind. That's a very true statement. Once again, I've already said this.
because instead of trying
Yeah, like Nanta and Azure Stellar or Azure Familia and Arknight's Enfield are really setting the standard for what the new expectation for gacha games are going to be. And I think that's great. And I'm glad that the more we get into this space, the better things become. And that's awesome.
to become better, instead of becoming better for the player, like they said, oh, we don't care how much money we make, we just want to make enough for the players and to keep the game up. That is complete bullshit, and you can just tell by the trend patterns. Every pattern Wuwa has right now was every pattern HSR had before it went to shit.
Okay, I would love for him to go in on this. I'm down to hear this perspective.
I just made recently a video on the MOC HP inflation in HSR. It didn't even start going crazy until around Fei Xiao's patch, which is 2.5. Okay? It took until 2.5 for this whole MOC HP inflation to really start hitting the endgame. And if you look at the first few patches of the MOC 12 floor, which includes even a few months after the anniversary, the endgame scaling did not go up all that much. It did go up. However, it wasn't anywhere near as bad as it currently is. You could always clear with older characters. Seal was T0.5, even in 2.0.
Yeah, and like, okay. It's Pridwin, guys. Everybody who had a Zila knew that it was a lot different between T0.5 and then T0 with Jingliu. Like, I'll be real, Zila was hitting for like 80, 90K with a decent build. Jingliu was hitting for like 200K with a decent build. Come on. And I was free to play during this. I got all that shit free to play. So trust me, there was a very big difference between a 0.5 and a tier 0. However, Pridwin is one of these sites where if you notice, every single tier is filled. And that's not a good thing to do, right? Zila should have been much further down. Also, Jingliu should have been like SS, and then if you had E2 Dill should have been like SSS, right? So, yeah, there's a lot of nuance in this list, but I think we're using a lot of subjectivity as objectivity, and I think that's really dangerous.
As a DPS, Jian is currently in tier fucking 1 for TOA. You want to bring up Pridewin? Oh.
Yeah, but the other thing is that I think a lot of people, like, for example, I even pulled for a Jian this patch, and I'm sure a lot of people would agree that these tiers are actually a hell of a lot closer than the HSR tiers, right? And the fact that we have a main character in T0.5 is fucking insane. You know what I mean? Like, these are a lot closer than HSR's Mickey Mouse tiers.
Pridewin? Oh, look at Ruan Main Luocha. They're power crept. I don't fucking play this game, so I don't even know how these characters work in teams. Like, you don't even play this game anymore. You are talking out of your ass. You have Jian in tier 1 for TOA. I'm not going to sit here and say Jian is useless, power crept. He can't clear anything. A Ruan Main Luocha is going to...
Yeah, I really think this guy's getting a little bit deceived by the information that he's consuming. And he's making a lot of assumptions off of things that he thinks are objective when exactly they're subjective. And I think that's the problem. I think this guy is underneath the assumption that Pridwin can never be wrong and that they don't have opinions. But like, somebody has to put these things on a tier list, right? I do feel bad for this guy because I can tell he's very upset by this. And I'm not really sure why he's so upset about this. But yeah, let's keep going here.
Going to add a shit ton of value to your account. Whether you want to believe it or not, or you want to argue semantics instead of finally getting to a solution, this...
I don't really think anybody's arguing semantics here. And I don't think he's going to cite any sources of people doing that. But let's keep going here.
Annie is fucking garbage. And this one event that is going on.
I think the problem is whenever people start talking in this very impassioned way, where they're just really angry and frustrated, everybody just blindly believes them. And I think that you'll see, Gabi Maru, is that with your, I also put great vid, you're welcome. By the way, this is also misinformation that was already cleared up. I think that what you'll realize here is that, you know, you have people in your things going reasonable crash out, and everybody agreeing with you, you're hearting, and everybody that you're disagreeing with, you're not interacting with or commenting. And I think you need to understand that it's you right now who's creating the echo chamber, right? So just keep that in mind, right? You didn't interface with a single person who disagreed with you or called out your misinformation. So I just want to make sure that you understand you're throwing stones from a glass house. Read the pinned comment. They're shitting on you. I mean, I guess I can read it. I think your only problem is you don't know or haven't had as much practice articulating your points as Tectone has. All of your points are solid, but you say them in a way that someone who's more experienced at speaking like Tectone can twist your words and deflect the criticism and make it seem silly or not that big of a deal. No, I really don't do that. I'm just kind of speaking clearly and breaking down your points bit by bit. But yeah, I don't really have any agenda to destroy Gabi Maru. In fact, if you'll check my video of me reacting to him, I even said that I'd love to talk to him sometime on GotchaCast. But yeah, I think the problem with this video is that his points are shit. And he's quoting misinformation and subjectivity or subjective information as objective information. I think that's just like not a good precedent to do.
On right now is boring. It is boring as shit, okay? It's cool, maybe for some people. Personally, this shit is
I think the event is also boring as shit.
boring.
And I even said that while I was sponsored. And by the way, Wuthering Waves was cool with me saying that. I think the event was shit, 100%.
And this is all the content we have. I am trying my hardest.
I think the problem is what this guy doesn't realize is I play Wuthering Waves, and a lot of people play Wuthering Waves as we log in, we do the exploration, we do the story, we log off. This guy's probably pretty valid for a hardcore player who play every day, but I don't think Wuthering Waves was meant to be played every day, so I'm not going to hold it to that standard of playing every day. I want to remind everybody of MTashed who thought that Wuthering Waves was bad because you can't play it 24/7, and then went to PoE 2 and then also said that game was shit, a game that you can play 24/7, right? So it's kind of just like, these are casual games. This was a casual update. There is a demographic for this. You might not be it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, the game's honestly a lot better if you just don't take it that seriously. And I think that's the case with every gacha game. The same thing with Wizardry. I stopped playing for a week, picked it up, didn't miss a damn thing, and it felt great. But yeah, we need to stop holding casual gacha games to hardcore game standards.
To try and
Techie, you have account managers. So I've actually fired every single account manager that I have, besides one, right? And I will admit, now, once again, my account managers don't matter whatsoever for Wuthering Waves. They don't, because I don't do any of the endgame modes, so it really doesn't make a bit of difference. All of them are gone for Honkai Star Rail. All of them are gone for Genshin Impact. I've never had one for Limbus Company, and I've never had one for Wizardry. I only have one account manager for Wuwa, and that's just to make sure I can hit deliverables on time whenever I do a sponsor them, which is once every update patch. But I suppose I could do an extra 3 hours of farming, and that would probably be fine, but that's pretty much it. So I also already played the game for a very long time. It's completely free to play, and it was great. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
enlighten people.
Yep.
From trying to not.
And also, I just don't even play Sunless Zone Zero. I just don't. I just don't play it at all. I'm hoping for 2.0 though. I was actually in the car listening to Astro Yao's theme song, and it's so good. I really hope 2.0 can turn that game around for me. Because right now the UI is so confusing. I'm honestly kind of embarrassed to stream it because my chat just says, "Bro's a tourist, bro's a tourist, bro's a tourist," and I am. But I just kind of just want to be told, "Hey man, go here for this. Hey man, go there for that." Because I have a hard time navigating. I get lost in everything that I do, even games that I love. I just get lost all the time, and interfaces are very hard for me to remember. That's kind of one of my biggest issues with playing games. Is I wish instead of account managers, I just had directors where I'm just hey, I want to go here. Where do I go? Click this, right? So the importance of a very clean UI is very important to me.
Be biased. I'm not going to act like I'm perfect. I'm not going to act like I'm always objective. I'm not going to act like I don't have my flaws. I'm human at the end of the day. Everyone is human.
Sure.
Once again, don't attack Tectone over this shit. But
if you do, it's absolutely okay. I've been dealt with getting heat for no fucking reason for 6.5 years. It's never going to change. That's okay though. I appreciate you saying that. I do appreciate you saying that, but it is weird how you say don't attack Tectone and then you heart a comment shitting on me. So I'll be real, Gabby Morrow. I mean, I think your words are pretty shallow, but that's okay. It was a good attempt at virtue signaling, and I do think it tells a lot about your character. But yeah, that was a pretty good attempt to try to seem like you're the bigger person. Unfortunately, anybody with 2 IQ can see that it's disingenuous.
It's just this gotcha space it has a lot of people with probably 2 brain cells total, and it doesn't
He really likes saying 2 brain cells.
make any fucking sense to me why people can't learn to think for themselves and instead just listen to someone with a big following to make all their opinions for them.
Well, the problem is that the reason why I got a large platform, Gabby Morrow, is because usually I'm just, kind of right about things, right? And because I'm pretty entertaining. But when you always talk about having a bigger content creator make their opinions for them, I want to remind you that every single point that you made this video was brought to you by a larger content creator like Maggie and Pridwin, and you're doing the exact thing that you're telling other people not to do, and then anybody who's giving you a counterpoint, you've completely ignored and not interfaced with. So I just want to make sure, Gabby Morrow, and maybe your community will hold you accountable. Everything that you're saying is bad, you're doing yourself in this video. Let's keep going.
It is so embarrassing. And every time I get someone who only plays Wua in my shit saying Ruame's power crept, Luocha's power crept, they're useless, you can instantly tell they don't play the game. They just don't play the fucking game. They're just here to argue drama and which game is better than each other. Like, it's so fucking retarded, man.
So the thing is that people were saying Ruan Mei is weaker and there's better options and she's very likely to get power crept, and people were saying that Luocha is power crept, which I think we can all agree is a pretty fair thing to say. I also would like to remember that a 4-star is more powerful for his top synergies in the game right now, wanting to quote Gallagher. At least that's what I've heard and what I've seen. But maybe I could be wrong about that. But yeah, I think that if a 5-star's power level in HSR terms is weaker than a 4-star, then nobody's really going to give a fuck about him.
Average pulls per patch in Wua is 105, and we're getting 118 for this anniversary.
But I would say it's pretty fair to say that Luoch is probably the worst limited 5-star in the game. And if he's good right now, he'll be power crept in the near future for sure.
And keep in mind, if you're someone who's saving, or you have a guarantee from running on SK or whatever, you're missing.
Better yet, this guy likes quoting Pridwin quite a lot. Does Pridwin show top synergies for units? My day. Okay. Builds and teams. Do they weigh in on this? So I want you to show you this, that if you don't think he's power crept, this own website that you love so much, right, puts Gallagher and Luocha in the same tier. Him having more universality in every single mode, as you can see, like when he has E6, 0.5, which is even better than Luocha, by this website that you love to quote. So I just want, maybe that'll help you understand that's why the Luocha thing is an issue, right? Because even a 4-star is more powerful than him. But yeah, I do hope that helps, that the website that you keep quoting, that you're taking, and I don't take Pridwin as biblical, but I just wanted to see what Pridwin felt. But yeah, it ranks Gallagher higher than Luocha. And you keep on quoting Pridwin like it's like the be-all, end-all. But hope that helps. Gallagher is the most versatile sustain he is. Ling Sha, Luocha, Huehue, Aven, debuffs all rolled in one. Well, once again, I mean, obviously there's a lot of subjectivity to this, but yeah, I think Gabby Mario needs to understand the difference between objective info and subjective info. But let's keep going here.
Missing out on like 8 pulls from this gilded night market. You're getting 5 more pulls for an anniversary versus a normal average patch in Wua. Value your fucking time more. Value your life more. Like, what is wrong with you?
I do think it's good for people to ask for more pulls, but I'm happy with 57. If it's really that low, that's okay. That sucks. And yeah, it would be great if we got more.
Everybody keeps saying, oh, Kuro's so generous. Oh, they need to keep the game alive. Do you think the game's going to start fucking dying if they give a single guarantee or a single...
Well, I mean, I do think it is pretty fair to say Kuro's generous, considering the fact that they gave out, like, what, 2 free 5-star selectors and a premium unit and about, like, 400 free pulls in the launch of the game. Now, obviously, a lot of that was due to, like, bug fixes. Other games with bug fixes don't really give you a fraction of that. So, yeah, that's kind of why people say that Kuro's generous.
Single 5-star? Hell, giving Zhang Liao was good press and made a bunch of people come into their game because they appreciated how generous Kuro was being. This is...
Sure, but I think the mentality of, well, they gave away 1 free premium 5-star and it was really good press. It's kind of like a slippery slope argument. And it's like, well, if you just keep on giving away premium 5-stars to get more good PR, well, when does the company start making money? Which, by the way, it's a gacha game company. They're kind of designed to do that, right?
It's just fucking stupid, right? Value your time more. You have a limited lifespan. Every hour you spend on this game is an hour taken off of your life. And
Yeah, and by the way, everything that you're saying right now, I've said before.
most of these people defending Kuro have spent days, weeks, months of playtime on this game. Yet, for some reason, they don't value their time. They just value a company. They want
I think there's a broad generalization, and I think this is assuming a lot of things that aren't entirely universally true.
to defend the company because they're so attached to it that they think, oh, please take more advantage of me, Kuro. Please take more advantage of
Yeah, I think this is taking the vocal minority and painting it as every player, which I don't really think is what you're intending to do here.
me. Please take more advantage of the players. These guys are just beggars for actually wanting some decent rewards after supporting the game for a fucking entire year.
Yeah, once again, I think everybody said that everybody was justified for wanting more rewards. And you keep on saying that we weren't wanting more rewards, but once again, there's a 1.5 minute video of me saying that, of a 1.5 minutes in a 1 hour period of me saying we want all more rewards. And you once again keep on acting like you're in opposition to people who actually agree with you for this point.
Have a good day.
Sure. Gabby Mar, I think you made yourself look a little bit goofy. I think you should really reanalyze your video. And I really think the analogy of, I hate how Tectone's audience agrees with them so much. Well, is it really my fault for being right? Anyways, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all later.